Who is 50 Cent's father?
That's a good question that hasn't really been answered directly for over 2 decades now. Is it Kenneth Supreme Mcgriff, the legendary Rick James, or Fat Cat Nichols? Who is it? We all know his mother's name was Sabrina, who used to run with Fat Cat and them back in the day. But his pop's been a mystery. One that I'm gonna attempt to solve today. I'm not gonna get into deep explaining the whole 50 come-up story here, cause I already covered that on my last video. If you ain't see that one yet, you better go see it now. Shit's fire. Today, I'ma run down memory lane and go down the archives to unearth the mystery hidden in plain sight. 50 Cent's father. Curtis Jackson, aka Boo Boo, or 50 Cent, was born on July 6, 1975 in South Jamaica Queens neighborhood. His mother Sabrina had him when she was only 15 years old. As a child herself, she was still under her parents' roof, so 50 spent most of his younger days at his grandparents' house. It is well documented that his mother used to be outside with the guys getting to it during the crack era. 50 has always said in his interviews that she was a superhero because the little times he got to see her, she would always bring him gifts.
My mom had me at 15, so the option having a child at 15 at that point was to go on welfare or to hustle. And she chose that lifestyle and to provide.
The hustling lifestyle.
It made me feel like I was prioritized because every time I seen her, it felt like Christmas.
She was both a user and a seller who worked in the shadows on 150th Street and Supton Boulevard in South Jamaica section of Southeast Queens, a known Fat Cat corner. She ultimately died in a tragic house fire that many deemed suspicious. She was only 25, leaving behind an 8-year-old 50 to be raised by his grandparents. During the late 70s and the 80s, the city was a gangster paradise. It was then the Italian Mafia era that was slightly fading out, and there was a few local street cats who were getting to it. The crack era was booming in New York City. A few crews ran it in Queens, Supreme Team being one of the most glorified and popular to many, headed by Kenneth Supreme Mcgriff and his nephew Gerald Prince Miller.
Yo, when you hear talk of the South Side, you hear talk of the team. See, fair prince and respected Preme. For all you slow motherfuckers, I'ma break it down illa. See, Preme was the businessman and Prince was the killer.
That was 50 paying homage, but it could have been looked at as a slight jab saying Preme wasn't the one to be feared. There's been this long-running rumor about Preme being 50 Cent's father because of their similar grin, and this too have a well-documented history together, which I also covered extensively on the last video. Preme was born September 19, 1960, which would have meant he had fifth when he was only 14 years old. Although this is possible in today's society, the chances of that happening back then was slim, but who knows? Before Preme started his run, Fat Cat ran it, at least when it came to Southside Jamaica Queens. He was one of the most feared and powerful hustlers to come out of that neighborhood. Fat Cat's own crew was the Nichols organization, which brought in millions from the sale of crack cocaine and heroin, and also supplied other crews like the Supreme Team and a few others. Born in Birmingham on Christmas Day 1958, Fat Cat spent his early years with his grandmother in a town called Bessemer, but moved to Queens to be with his mother when he was just 10 years old. The first place Nichols lived in Queens was Ozone Park neighborhood, which made him an outsider when he showed up on the cutthroat streets of South Jamaica Queens. But Fat Cat had to prove himself as a top lion in the jungle, earning him his notorious reputation. Within a few years of his arrival in South Jamaica Queens, Fat Cat established a drug empire that at one time netted $20 million a year, selling heroin, and yay, that he first got through a connection to the Italian Mafia. Over the years, Fat Cat was arrested, locked up, and released multiple times on various charges, but he ended up making a series of mistakes between 1985 and 1987 being arrested in a raid that found him in possession of heroin, cocaine, guns, and a large stash of cash. While in jail, he ordered several people to assault his parole officer, allegedly Brian Rooney. But the guys that took the order, they ended up shooting the parole officer dead in the summer of 1987, something Fat Cat has said he did not intend to have happen, but it resulted in him being charged with second-degree murder for the killing. In 1992, Fat Cat was sentenced to 25 years to life in prison for the Rooney murder, in addition to 40 years for federal murder, drugs, and racketeering charges. He remains beyond bars till this day at the Clinton Correctional Facility, a maximum security state prison in upstate New York. So what are the connections between Fat Cat and 50 Cent? In 50's early song, Ghetto Quran, where he named all the OGs around him, he mentions Fat Cat, saying as a youth, he used to idolize Cat, and it hurt him to his heart to hear he told on Pap.
As a youth, all I ever did was sell crack. I used to idolize Cat. Hurt me to my heart to hear that snitched on Pap. How you go out like that?
What 50 was referring to was the rumor that was out there, which was also in news articles, that Fat Cat was cooperating on his friend and Lieutenant Howard Pappy Mason. Pappy Mason at the time was being charged with orchestrating the ambush killing of the rookie cop, Edward Byrnes, in Queens. He was just 22 years old.
A Queens grand jury is going to convene tomorrow to consider the case against 4 young men accused of executing rookie cop Edward Byrne. He was gunned down while guarding a witness in a drug case. It happened in Jamaica, Queens, the same neighborhood where 3 of the 4 suspects grew up, the same neighborhood where Dorothy Lucy spent her day.
Cops on the run, criminals running from them. It's just another Sunday in South Jamaica.
I'd say it's bad.
Welcome to the 40s Project. 2 of the men accused of shooting police officer Ed Byrne grew up here. Some people call it the largest crack house in the city. It's 5 blocks of projects, drugs, and crime.
That hit alone was responsible for the war on drugs in the whole country. That was a big mistake. Everybody knows you don't kill cops. That's a no-no, because they won't stop looking for you till they've turned every single rock on the planet. That hit brought the heat to everybody, leading to many RICO indictments at the time. Poppy, who was beyond bars on a weapons charge during the brazen hit, was told on by 4 of the guys who went on the hit. They said he ordered the hit because he felt disrespected by the cop. Some of the guys even suggested Poppy might have been mentally off for calling that hit. To verify that snitching allegations, I've searched all over Poppy Mason's documents to see anywhere Fat Cat gave info on, but I haven't found one yet. The only names that I see that testified are those 4 individuals. But there is some truth to Fat Cat's cooperation. He told on himself, on legal terms, copped a plea in 2 murders to get his 76-year-old mother off the hook, who was also jammed up because of his dealings. A name was used to rent out a storage unit that had all the drugs in it, so she was used to persuade a testimony from him. Fat Cat had other close members of his who had flipped on him, including his notorious hitman Brian Glaze Gibbs. Glaze, who ran his own crew in Brooklyn, was also told on by his underlings. Glaze pleaded guilty to either arranging or committing 5 murders and 2 attempted murders between 1985 and 1988 as a top lieutenant of Fat Cat. Glaze ended up moving down south under a different alias in witness protection after he got out. All this information probably got to 50 after the Ghetto Quran song, because he still talked about Fat Cat in a respectful manner after he had previously said that Fat Cat broke his heart.
Who are some of your street gangsters that you looked up to that say, yo, that dude right there, put it down official?
You know, well, yeah, Pap. You got Prince. Cat. I mean, Cat he ran it at one point, you know what I'm saying? And that, I mean, they say they call him snitch, but he told on himself.
Mm-hmm.
All he told on himself on crimes that they wouldn't have been able to catch him on.
That's
in
my
order,
extension.
yeah, in order to let his moms not go to jail for her time. You see what I'm saying? And under those circumstances, they called him a snitch because the niggas that was under him wanted the crown. You feel what I'm saying? Like, after, if you told them, yo, I killed this person and we had this done and we did that, and they go, who you told them? Myself. Are you a snitch, or did you sacrifice being able to come home for your own people, for your mother? And then it's really what it's about. Is it's about the niggas that was there wanted to be like, yo, the nigga's a snitch because he told them anything. He wasn't supposed to tell them anything. You see what I'm saying? And so you're supposed to hang your moms out to dry. And not even take responsibility at that point. I mean, to me, my perception of that being you being a snitch is fuzzy. I don't see that clear. Because you ain't telling nobody. If you decide to say, yeah, I did this and I did that, is he a snitch because you did it yourself? Or are you a snitch when you say, yeah, Jamal did it, or we did this together with somebody, and you make them feel like you implicate someone else in that situation? I think that the reason why they called him a snitch all of that time was because the niggas that was existing on the street would have been in the shadows all of that time. No matter how big they got, in my area, my hood, South Jamaica, they would have felt like you still ain't as big as what it was when Cat had it. You see what I'm saying? So I think that's why they did them like that. And then you got, on the street level, you got Jack out there, you got a lot of niggas locked up, Tut on them. You know what I mean? They banged up niggas that was running around here on it, you know what I mean? On the shit. I mean, you can't leave Preme out. They finna give him the Sparky, though. His trial getting ready to start. They talking about giving him the Sparky.
Damn, nigga, I want that.
Not the Sparky. Oh, no, not the Sparky.
This interview came out when Preme was going through his trial. You can hear for yourself how much he hated Preme and how he respects and defends Fat Cat. We can even go further deeper, back to 50 Cent's first movie, also named after his first album, Get Rich or Die Tryin', where all the clues were hidden in plain sight, and most people, including myself, didn't even catch it. Now I know movies are simply for entertainment purposes, but there are too many similar events and occurrences that I'm picking up on, especially after all the research that I've done. Within the first few minutes into the movie, while introducing the story plot, Marcus, or 50, was laid down on the ground staring at the nose of a barrel, shot, basically recreating or pulling from 50 Cent's real shooting. He whispered something key.
Staring down the barrel of that 9, I knew I was about to die. I don't know why I was expecting my father to rescue me. I realized I've been looking for him all my life.
That was just one of many clues sprinkled throughout the whole movie that I'm gonna break down for y'all. The artist Dangerous was Ja Rule. Majestic was Preme. Even the character depicting his mother was Katrina. His mom's name is Sabrina. See the similarities? They even reenacted the scene of 50 meeting Jam Master Jay. How Jay saw him in his Mercedes S500 outside a club, and he brought him inside, thinking he was a ball player because of his car. Marcus and Majestic ended up beefing, just like Preme and 50 did in real life. Majestic died the day Marcus was to take the stage in the movie, sort of like a metaphor, as the same day 50 Cent and the club record dropped, Murder Inc.'s offices were raided, and the feds pretty much took away Preme's freedom from there on. Bill Duke, or Big Homie Levar, represents Fat Cat, as he was the top shotter who everyone had to answer to. Similar to how Fat Cat went to prison after the parole officer's killing, Levar in the movie also went to prison after that hit. Although some of the storyline might have been exaggerated for entertainment purposes, the root was there. Finally, the most revealing part of the movie that probably flew past everybody's head was when Marcus goes to visit LeVar in prison, and LeVar basically said he was his son without saying it. Remember, the whole movie started out with Marcus saying he was looking for his father.
What's far more than that? Your mama didn't want to take my family life from me.
Those are just some clues from the movie that were overlooked for decades now. On the low, 50 had visited Fat Cat a few times beyond bars. He said it in the Breakfast Club interview a couple of years back, referring to Fat Cat as Biz, and also saying why he did not understand how Preme chose sides instead of having both him and Ja because he's from under them.
I go see Biz, I go see Cat in Clinton. Cat go, yeah, he f***ed up. He go, I don't understand. He was supposed to have both. Why he choose? You see what I'm saying? Like he's digging on. You from it. Like you from there. That's automatic.
He referred to Fat Cat as Biz. Only people very close to Fat Cat knew him as that.
Just swear to God, I think I had the same vision that Cat had. Woke up, said, we gonna turn them corners to Baghdad, yeah.
Fat Cat, who was born on Christmas 1958, would have been 16 going on 17 when 50 Cent was born in July of 1975. Makes you wonder, is Fat Cat really his pops? Let me know in the comments who y'all think it is. One thing's for certain, he was definitely an offspring of one of the guys. Itsonnowtv. I'ma see y'all on the next one. Peace.